Hello, hello, human beings. Good evening. Welcome to this evening's guided non-dual meditation session with myself in a new room. I'm in a new space, not in the old COVID meditation bunker that I've been using for the last year, but in a new COVID free meditation bunker. I just a couple days ago got my second shot, so I'm feeling very powerful with my anti-COVID mojo. I hope you are too, or you will be soon. I did have some, the day after felt a little like, whoa, a little feverish and so on. But today, 2 days after, back to feeling great. So let's dive right in with our meditation session this evening. As usual, we're going to do non-dual style meditation. And we're going to do that in a way that is both a combination of the traditions and also just the way I've developed to teach. And so, if you want to get more involved in what we're doing here, understanding, talking about the meditations, asking questions, and actually even working more with the videos themselves, join the Discord channel, which I don't have a link for at the moment, but I'll get one. We have a Discord channel and for this YouTube. And if you go on there, we talk a lot about this. And also, we're developing a thing where I'm showing you the system of what I'm teaching here. But, if you understand the basic makeup of a Dzogchen system or a Mahamudra system, the 4 yogas of Gampopa and so on, you'll get the idea of what we're doing here. You'll already understand the basic structure. So, okay, let's begin the meditation as usual. What I want you to do is set up your posture. Posture really matters. I want you to have your lower back curved in. See what it does when I curve my back in. Boop. Makes your chest go out, makes your back go up. Instead of being like the hunched over like that, the minute you put your lower back in that curve, concave curve, the posture gets good. And so the easy way to do that is to sit on something that makes your knees lower than your hips. And that just makes the curve happen without any effort at all. If you're sitting on something flat, with your legs can make it hard. It kind of it can tip your pelvis in the wrong direction, right? So we want your knees to be lower than your hips. That tilts the pelvis in the correct direction. And then that makes your back upright just by itself. It's really, really nice. If you're sitting on a chair, you don't sit in the couch and keep slumping. You sit on the front of the chair. I'm way far away from the back of the chair, so that gets my back straight. I'm not leaning on the back. I'm sitting away from the back. And then that gets your head nice and upright. And the top of your head is kind of like pulling upward towards the ceiling. And then you want your chin to be tucked. Okay? Your chin is tucked. Once you've got that and your jaw is loose, your upper and lower jaw is not clenched, the upper and lower teeth are not even touching. So your jaw is loose, your chin is tucked, and your shoulders are loose. Your arms and shoulders are very relaxed, okay? So back is very upright, arms, shoulders, jaw, very relaxed. Okay, so that's setting up the posture. Always have that posture just right. It really matters. I'm going to, because I have to run the YouTube here, I'm going to change my posture, but I want you to stay in that nice upright posture. I also have my glasses on because I'm looking at the screen, but you can take your glasses off. You don't need them for this. Make sure all the notifications on your screen and your phone and all that are off. You'll have no interruptions at all. You don't want to be interrupted during this. Okay. And then what we're going to do, as usual, we're going to start with shamatha, shamatha with an object. We're going to meditate on some particular object. And usually I have you doing this with your breath, right? You're contacting the breath and going with the breath. But for some percentage of people, focusing on a mental image is even easier and stronger. So because I normally guide this with people meditating on their breath, I'm going to this time guide it with meditating on a mental image, which does the same thing. It's just another way to do it, right? And for some people, that mental image is easier than the breath. So if you like the breath, just go ahead and meditate on your breath. Don't listen to what I'm saying about the mental image. You know yourself. The goal here is to get nice and focused. So if you like focusing on your breath, then follow that in and out now. Okay, start doing that. Get really involved with following the breath in and out. All right, don't start yet. I know I told you to start, but not yet. We're going to back up a little bit. And if we do the mental image, we'll do the mental image. I forgot the most important part. After we set up the posture and before we begin the shamatha, we want to set our intention and make a petition for our helpers. So setting up the intention, we remember why we're meditating, and you get to meditate for any reason you want. Okay, so just make that clear right now. I'm meditating because of X. The one I really like and the one I like to put in for the group is I'm meditating to either realize awakening or deepen and stabilize my awakening for the benefit of myself and everyone around me. Okay? I'm meditating to awaken or deepen my awakening and stabilize my awakening for the benefit of myself and everyone around me. Because, of course, when we awaken or deepen our awakening, it helps everyone else around us too, because we're just not causing so many problems, number one, and number two, we're actually becoming part of the solution. So we're meditating to become part of the solution. Okay, so get really clear about that. And then the next part is if you have bodhisattvas or Buddhas or deities or gurus or any beings that you feel help you in this, I want you to call them in right now and ask for their help. On the other hand, if you don't believe in any of that, which is fine, I want you to do it as an imagination exercise where you basically imagine yourself to be an enlightened Buddha. And you think about how you would meditate. You don't think about it, but you basically inhabit being an enlightened Buddha who is meditating. Doing that, even as an imagination exercise, works. And it's interesting. It works because at the deepest level of the ground of being, you actually are already awakened. So if we sat here and said, well, I'm a brain surgeon and I want to be a brain surgeon. I've never went to school for it. I've never gone to school for it. I have no idea how to do it, but I'm going to pretend to be a brain surgeon and then go do brain surgery. That would not work, right? That's a terrible idea. But for meditation, it does work because the truth is you already are at the deepest level of your being. It's already fully awake there. There's already a ground of being that is crisp, clear, brilliant, awake awareness that is liberated right at the ground of being. That's already there. So even when you pretend to have that quality, it starts to open up a little bit of that coming through the muck, right? There's just muck in the way of us realizing that ground of being. And so it's funny because it's like pretending to be what you already actually are. And that's why it can work. So set your intention, then either, ask for blessing and help from whatever beings you are into, or pretend to be an already awakened Buddha, which you actually are. And then we can begin to do shamatha. So the steps so far are, set up your posture, set your intention, and do this, let's say, invocation, and then we begin the shamatha. So now, if you like doing the breath, do the breathing. Follow the breath in, follow the breath out. Get very concentrated on the body sensations of breathing. If, on the other hand, you want to try this other way of concentrating that works really well for some people and does not work at all for others, here's what I want you to do. I want you to picture very clearly a bright white light against a blue background. That's it. And I want you to hold in your mind's eye, in your imagination, right here, a bright white light against a blue background. And if you're very good at visualization, picture that light as being a faceted, spherical diamond. So it's a ball shape, but with zillions of facets that are triangular. And it's a diamond that is glowing with bright, 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 bright white light. And just picture that diamond rotating with this light against this blue field. Okay, now the idea is you keep that continuously in your imagination. And if you can do that, you'll find yourself getting very, very focused, just like other people get focused when they follow their breath. What I don't want you to do is scrunch up your face, get concentrated in such a way that you're like squishing your eyebrows together or anything. Keep your face completely relaxed. You don't need your physical eyes for this. You don't need your facial muscles for this. This is in the imagination. This is in the mental visualization. So let's just sit and become nice and stabilized. We're stabilizing the mind here, right? We're using the apparent stability of the breath or the apparent stability of this mental visualization of this rotating spherical diamond of white light against a blue background. We're using that to stabilize the mind. So just tune into that and try to keep that visualization as stable and clear as you can. We don't have to get it detailed, we just have to get it stable. Every time you forget it, bring it back. If it goes away, bring it back. If it goes away, bring it back. That's all you do. And then after a while, it will just stay there. After a while, it will just stay there, and you'll notice you can get very absorbed doing that. We want you to become nice and stabilized in that way. So let's do that for a few minutes here. If you find yourself distracted at all, come back to your focus object. Steer your mind like a car. Keep bringing it back. When you're driving, you notice if you're going off the road to the left into the ditch and you put yourself back on the road. If you're going off sorry, on the right in America. If you're on the left and you're going off into the oncoming lane, you don't want that. You steer it back into the middle. It's the same thing. If the mind starts drifting away from your focus object, just steer it back. Notice the drifting. Steer it back. Whichever way it's going, notice the drifting and steer it back. Keep coming back to your focus object. You may notice, if you like this visualization method, that it's really, really good for staying very stable, because you notice right away if the visualization drops. It's hard to not know that. So even if you're having to bring it up again and again and again and again and again, you're staying with it, right? That's what's so cool. It's instant feedback if you lose it, because it's not there anymore. So you know when you're not focused. So let's keep going here. How would a Buddha concentrate? A Buddha who is perfect at concentration, who has no problem concentrating whatsoever. The Buddha's mind does precisely what is intended. So because you at the deepest level are already a fully awakened Buddha, just notice that you set that intention, and then it can stay there, because the mind will do what the Buddha wants it to. So just meditate as if you are a meditating Buddha. Don't try to figure it out. Don't try to understand it. Just let the mind's own already existing wisdom guide you into a deeper and deeper focus. Okay, good. Now what I want you to do is simply relax all doing and drop into non-doing. Just relax and open and allow the awareness to not fixate on anything. That doesn't mean awareness goes from thing to thing to thing. That's just short fixation. It means the awareness does not fixate on anything. And so we just relax and open, which is the natural state. No need to do anything. And if the mind begins to grab onto something, grabbing onto a thought, grabbing onto an external sound, grabbing onto the feeling of the butt on the cushion, grabbing onto anything, just relax and open. Just relax and open. That's all you need to do. The ground of being is wide awake. It's always wide awake. Even if you're sleepy right now, that's just in the mucky level of the mind. Underneath all that, the ground of being is wide awake. And so if you just relax and open, don't do anything to your mind at all. Just relax and open. You'll notice that is not sleepy. That awake awareness is wide awake all the time. So feel that wide awakeness that is not part of your thinking, that's not part of your feeling, it's not part of anything. And it requires no meditation. It's already wide awake. In fact, in meditation, what we're doing is fixating the mind on something to calm it down. But when we drop into this awareness, we're unfixating. We're not allowing the mind to grab onto anything. We're relaxing and opening and noticing that that actually increases our clarity and brightness, right? And notice there's nothing to do. If you try to do something here, you miss it. If you try to meditate here, you miss it. If you try to figure this out, you miss it. Remember, the only instruction here is to drop everything that the habits try to grab onto. And dropping is not doing, it's just undoing, it's relaxing. So every time the mind grabs onto something or the habits try to take something up, just relax and open. Relax and open. Relax and open. That's all we're doing. You can't make the mind vast. If you're doing that, you're just imagining. But if you relax, you'll notice awareness is already vast. Awareness has always been vast and still. And in this vast stillness, it's also eternal. This vast space, this vast stillness did not look, you'll notice it never started. It was always there. This vast stillness is timeless. Notice that now. And again, this is not meditating. It's not you as a personality are directing attention towards vast stillness. You can't even do that. All you can do is the vast stillness is just aware of itself by itself. It doesn't take any effort. The person can't do it, but the awareness can. The part of you that is a person that keeps trying to do it, just let that sit off to the side. That's not how this works. Awareness is already wide awake and already present. It's vast and spacious. It's perfectly still. It's been here since beginningless time. There's nothing you need to do and nothing you can do except be it and notice that it notices itself. When awareness notices itself, that's not a direction. When it's the mind trying to reach out to focus on something, it always wants to go in a direction. This is not a direction. This is awareness, just aware of itself. We're holding the view. This is the view. Thoughts do not help in any way right now. Thoughts are useless. They can happen, doesn't matter. Thoughts can be happening. We're not engaging with them. And no thought you have right now will help in any way. Emotions won't help right now. Emotions are wonderful, they're fine, they can be happening all over the place. That's great, but they're not going to help this process. Your personality, your likes and dislikes, the things you want to have happen and don't want to have happen, none of that helps in what we're doing here. It's all just in the way. That's the stuff that's in the way, you know. And so it's not that we don't have it. You can still have all the likes and dislikes you want, but we just set all that aside for now. So thoughts, feelings, likes and dislikes, those are all set aside. And that's not an activity. You're not doing that as an action. You're just not engaging. Well, that's what we're dropping, right? When those come up, we're just not engaging. Not engaging. And the same thing happens even with, I don't know, the sights and sounds of the room around you or the feelings in your body. People think like, well, I'm just kind of keeping my awareness broad and I'm paying attention to the room, or I'm paying attention to sound, or I'm paying attention to my body in a very broad way. But that's still meditating. That's not what we're doing. Okay, we're not doing Vipassana in that way. We're just letting go of all that. All of that is just in the way now. And in fact, not even in the way, because we're just not engaging with it. We're just letting it be, but awareness is just aware of itself by itself, spontaneously, as vast. We could call it boundaryless. There's no boundaries there because boundaries are thoughts. We're not engaging thoughts. So without engaging boundaries, you notice that it's just boundaryless space that is perfectly still. The stillness is tremendously ultimately immovable. Its immovability is total. It's solid like a rock or solid like a diamond. Even though it's spacious, it has this tremendous stillness that can be thought of as a kind of stability or solidity like a mountain. And when you notice that spaciousness and that stability, you'll see that it's always been there. There's nothing you're doing to generate it. You're not making it happen. if you are making it happen, then that's not it. You're imagining something. All you're doing is relaxing and opening. Relaxing and letting go, not engaging. Not engaging, opening to what's already there. Allowing the ground of being to be aware of the ground of being by itself, which it's already been since beginningless time. Now, it can feel like, because of our habits, that the thinking wants to get involved and figure this out. Like, I want to do it right. I want to figure out how to do this. Well, if you want to figure out how to do it, throw out figuring out how to do it. Because those are thoughts and we're letting go of those. There's nothing to do because the mind is already, the awareness is already perfectly awake. And by the same token, if you are trying to figure out if you're doing it right, test to see if you're doing it right. Right now, in the middle of the meditation, we just throw that out because doing it right means letting go of testing if you're doing it right. You are the ground of being. You are vast, spacious, timeless stillness, aware of itself. There's nothing that vast, spacious, timeless stillness needs to do to be more aware of itself. Trust that. Let go into that. Feel with awareness, in awareness, how this has been here since beginningless time. Not imagining time, not thinking about time, not making a movie about it, but just directly notice it's been here forever. Now, with your eyes open, resting in this vast, spacious, timeless stillness of awareness, just notice that there's no difference between inside and outside at all. Again, don't try to figure this out. Don't make it a mental ordeal. It's just directly obvious that awareness is outside and awareness is inside, and it's all one awareness. So there's no difference, there's no boundary there between inside and outside. If you're wrapping yourself around a mental pole right now, trying to twist yourself into a pretzel, trying to figure this out, just drop all that. Directly allow awareness to notice what it's always noticed, which is it's aware outside, it's aware inside, it's aware everywhere. So it's just one field of awareness. There's not an inside and an outside. And then just rest in that. Remember, we're not engaging with any visual objects. We're not picking anything up and looking at it, so to speak, with concentration or with our mind's eye. We're just awareness resting as awareness. Don't engage with thinking, don't engage with emotion, don't engage with personality, don't engage with external objects, don't engage with external sound. Just awareness aware of itself. No inside, no outside. Nothing to do at all except rest in this view. Rest in this view of awareness, aware of awareness by itself, effortlessly. The more you try to do here, the further away you get. So just cut it out if you're trying. On the other hand, if you're falling asleep, sit up straight, open your eyes, or even stand up, but keep resting as bright, clear awareness. Okay, now be with that for a little while longer, resting as awareness, aware of awareness, timeless, utterly still, perfectly clear, boundaryless, vast space. Good. Now we're going to switch to Vipassana, non-dual Vipassana. So from this place of awareness, do not leave the place of awareness. Stay in the view. Vast, spacious awareness. But lighten up just enough that thoughts arise. And from awareness, do not be the thoughts, be the awareness. From the awareness, notice the emptiness of the thoughts. So here comes a thought, blah, 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 into the vast field of awareness. And awareness itself notices that the thought is like just some kind of ephemeral, fleeting appearance in this awareness. It's just kind of a sky writing, or like a finger writing on water. It's just woof, and it's gone already. Woof, and it's gone already. Woof, it's gone already. Right? So don't come back to being a meditator, using your mind. Awareness sees this very quickly and very easily. Just have the intention that awareness notices this ephemerality of thought arising. Each thought that arises is seen as kind of a momentary phenomena that then just vanishes. You're not grabbing onto the thought. You're not even focusing on it in the way that you would normally think, because to focus requires coming back to being the person and being a meditator and all that, and we're not doing that. We are doing something, though, and that is we're having awareness itself has the intention to just notice this phenomena of thinking just arising and passing like some kind of firework in the night sky, just gone, gone, right? So this is not vipassana. We're not sitting there focusing on it and labeling it, nothing like that. That's all effort. This is just intention of awareness itself. Vast awareness notices, it's like a enormous sky, just notices fireworks going off in the sky. They're pretty, and then they're gone, and then it's boom, and it's gone, and then boom, and it's gone. So awareness itself, just aware of the phenomena of thinking and the disappearance of each moment of thought. So really allow that intention, really allow this awareness to see the vanishing, impermanent, ephemeral emptiness of each thought. When we say emptiness, we mean that form appearances are just mental constructs arising in awareness. The fact that a thought is a mental construct is totally obvious. It's just like a dream. It's created in the mind and it dissolves in the mind. And the entire time, it's just an ephemeral vanishing, like a fog or like a rainbow or like a mist. Allow awareness to continuously notice this vanishing, ephemeral, almost dreamlike quality of each arising thought. You're not trying to think, you're just allowing thought to come up. We're not holding the mind tightly. Vast stillness of awareness acts almost like a sky in which these little fireworks of thought are going off. And the sky is awake and aware, and it's just noticing these ephemeral flashes of thought that just then burn out and vanish. Pop, 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 gone. There's no solidity, there's no permanence, there's no essential quality to these thoughts. They're just vanishing appearances. Allow this Buddha-like awareness to notice that very clearly. Good. Now let's do the same thing, but with your personality. So allow the personality to arise. The sense of being you out in the world, that sense of the person that gets proud when they do something excellent and people praise them, or that gets ashamed when they do something not excellent and people blame them. That sense of the self that comes up when you're on social media, that sense of this is the being that I present to the world. I want people to like this being and not dislike this being. That thought and feeling entity that we're going to call the sense of self or the personality, bring that up right now. Again, just as an arising in awareness. It's not that you are the personality. In fact, the essence is that you are not the personality at all. You are the view. You are the ground of being, this vast, timeless stillness of awareness. If you lose that, come back to it. Come back to vast, timeless stillness. And then allow the personality to arise and notice the same thing. Vast, spacious awareness, timeless stillness, no inside, no outside, is like a sky. The personality that arises is like just little tiny fireworks. Just in the context of the vast sky, fireworks are teeny tiny, just little boop, 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 boop. And just notice, allow awareness itself to notice the emptiness, the constructedness, the ephemerality, the gossamer-like quality of this personality arising. This thing that you pretend to be all day long, but which is actually not you at all. You are the vast, spacious, timeless stillness, no inside, no outside, not even any location, not even any spot. It's all spots. That sky of awareness, don't imagine a sky, just be this vast awareness, noticing the arising and passing of each moment of personality. Notice how the personality is like a suit of armor that you pretend to be inside all the time, but it's very slow and clunky and rusty, and it keeps you distant from everything. It keeps you away from experience. But only when you pretend to be inside it. The Buddha that you are is never actually inside that. There's no struggle to get out. There's nothing to escape because awareness is already outside of it permanently, forever. Awareness is already free. So there's no struggle to escape. And yet you want awareness now to notice directly the arising of the personality as thoughts and feelings, as a story about yourself, however it's arising, and just notice that in awareness itself, those thoughts and feelings, that story of that personality is just like writing with your finger on the water. Doesn't stick, there's nothing there. It's completely empty. And yet, of course, the experience keeps arising. There is an experience. My personality is different than your personality because the experiences are different. And that's cool. We like personalities. Having a big, strong, interesting, effective, kind personality is essential. But it's also essential to notice that's not your actual identity. That's just an interface that the space of awareness uses to interact with the world. It's just an interface, and it's an empty interface. It's like a light show. It's like a movie projected on a fog bank. There's nothing actually there. There's just appearance, and then it's gone. Just appearance, and then it's gone. Just appearance, and then it's gone. And then it's gone. And then it's gone. If you find yourself getting caught up in the personality, you're actually it's getting sticky, and you're being you as a personality again, you as an ego. Come back to, let go of looking at that. Come back to just being the view. Vast spaciousness, eternal timelessness, mountain-like stillness. No difference between inside and outside. Not located anywhere, but located everywhere. And then allow the personality to re-arise, and just notice that it's like a dream in the mind of awareness. It's like mist or fog that's just burned off by the sun. Personality arises and then it's gone. And then it arises and then it's gone. But this vast intelligence, this vast knowingness, this field of gnosis, of awareness, that never goes away. that's always there, always awake, always clear and bright. Good. Now let go of all that personality specific work, and I want you to just open up to the vast space of awareness, aware of everything, aware of light and sound, aware of thoughts and feelings, even in the personality and everything around. But again, not as a meditation technique, but as awareness itself, just noticing everything arising in awareness. Because it is awareness, it's already aware of everything that's arising. It doesn't require concentration, it doesn't require focusing, it doesn't require effort. It's already completely aware of everything arising in awareness. And noticing, and notice now that everything that arises in awareness is completely a construction of awareness. It's ephemeral. It's like a dream in the mind. It's like fireworks in the sky or winds in the sky. It has no real substance because it's just awareness dancing as phenomena. It's just awareness being form, which is empty. Even the person that thinks they're sitting here doing a meditation exercise is just form arising in awareness. Even the mind that thinks it's learning something now, form arising in awareness and vanishing. Empty form dancing in awareness. It's just awareness pretending to be something and then vanishing again back into awareness. All the stories are just arising and vanishing. All the things we're so proud of are just arising and vanishing, dancing form in awareness. All our worries just arising and dancing form in awareness. All the doubts and concerns just arising, awareness dancing as form and then vanishing again, totally empty. Awareness pretending to be all things, having fun, playing the game of dancing as all things and then vanishing again back into itself. All things are already awake awareness. Things aren't things, they're just awake awareness dancing, pretending to be form, and thus already awake, already aware. Nobody doing anything at all, except as pretend phenomena of awareness dancing. Feel that infinite, timeless stillness, centerlessness of awareness, and notice the ever arising, ever vanishing play of apparent form, which is just awareness dancing, and see how they're not different. All form is just awareness dancing. All vast, timeless stillness is just awareness resting in itself. Nothing has ever been not liberated from the very beginning. This is the Buddha that you already are. This is the awake awareness that you've always been, manifesting as awareness dancing itself as world, and awareness resting in itself as vast, timeless stillness. The two together are never separate, are never two. And with that, let's end this session. Feel free to move and stretch. Feel free to get a drink of water as we end that meditation. And we'll go into the Q&A here in a little while. The thing I want to be clear about is that, it's a paradox. We need to practice, and yet at the same time, there's no need to practice. We need to recognize that there seems to be material that is blocking our continuous contact with the ground of being. And yet even that material, even the blockedness, even our sense of separation from the ground of being is all part of the ground of being. So it's a paradox. And it's the kind of paradox that you can't think your way out of, right? You can't figure that one out. And until the ground of being shines forth enough that you see what I'm talking about, at least a little tiny bit, it will seem impossible. But that's why at the beginning of the meditation, we are doing something. We're stilling the thinking by getting focused and so on. In the final analysis, that's just awareness pretending to still, awareness pretending to be thinking, pretending to get focused, pretending to still the thoughts, it's all just pretend. And at the same time, it's necessary because it quiets the rough waters, stills the thinking enough that it's possible for the effulgent clarity and brilliance of the ground of being to rise up into our kind of everyday consciousness. And so, in one sense, no meditation is ever even possible and certainly not necessary. But in another sense, we must do our practice. We must sit and practice meditation over and over and over until we are able to rest in the ground of being more and more, with more and more stability, more and more continuously. For the longest time, I thought, oh, I can contact the ground of being, no problem. And I thought the idea was to drop into it over and over again at various times. But I learned that no, the idea is not that you drop into it, but that you just eventually stay there, because that's your true identity. That's really who and what you are. And so what you do is do whatever practices, the shamatha practices of stilling and the vipassana practices of noticing emptiness, until you can actually drop in. And then once you can drop in, you practice it over and over and over until you can just stay there. Right? And so that's something I learned quite a bit later. And it's something I'm very happy to have learned, is that we just rest as this awareness the whole time, and that's possible. So let's move into the Q&A now. And I'll just say it's possible because that's what you really are, right? It's possible to rest as this awake awareness at all times because that's your actual identity. And because I don't know, there's a bunch of reasons, but it's fascinating that you can still miss the one fact that, you can just rest as that the whole time. I'm still laughing at myself for having missed that for so long. But you don't have to miss it. Hopefully, you don't have to miss it as long as me, because I'm telling you now. You are awake awareness. You can rest as that by just being it the whole time. And if that's not obvious yet, then practice, 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 practice until it is obvious. And then once it's obvious, you practice, practice, practice till it's stable. And then there's even more we can do to continuously clean up all the things that get in the way, right? Okay, let's look at your questions. We'll take your questions now and see how that goes. Ted, great meditation. How do you suggest the best way is to deal with energy sensations? Should this be treated similar to thought? In the long run, yes, treat it similar to thought. Just don't work with it at all. However, if the energy sensations are really out of control, like it's moving you around and stuff, try to just by intention, just bring them down below the navel so that they're not it's not banging around all up here. Just bring the energy down below your navel and keep it there. And then it can be as much energy as it wants, and it's just energizing your body, and that's good. Of course, in very advanced meditative work, we will do more with that energy, move it up and do all this stuff with it. For now, when you're having those sensations, if you can't, just ignore it, which is at first the best thing to do. If you can't just ignore it, then pull it below your navel and keep it there, and then ignore it. Okay, so yes, treat it like thought. Let's see, that's Calista. I can't read the Greek letters well enough to pronounce your name, but I didn't get much, but I realized the fact that I'm pretending I am a character. Fucking amazing meditation. Yeah, we're all pretending we're a character. That's called the personality. And that's okay. That's how humans work. It's fine to pretend that you're a character. But don't believe that you're that character. Ever. Let go of, just don't believe it. You're not that character. You're this vast, timeless stillness. That's all you need to know. You've never been that character. And furthermore, once you realize you're a character, be the best character you can be, right? Once you realize that's not you anyway, you don't have to defend that character. You don't have to say, well, that's just me. That's just the way I am. All of those are excuses. Once you realize that you're this vast, timeless stillness, let that character be the most charismatic, intense, awesome character that's only concerned with doing beautiful, excellent, helpful, brilliant things in the world. Why be, as long as you realize you're pretending to be a character, don't be a shitty, difficult, awful character. It's just a game we're playing, so play the game really well. Play it as good as you can, while always remembering that's not your actual identity. Your identity is vast, spacious, timeless, stillness. That's the ground of being. That's who you are. Danny says, I get confused by words like intend and allow. Doesn't there have to be something that intends and allow? Yeah, awareness. That's not hard. Awareness is intending and allowing. It's not confusing at all. Oh, Konstantinos. Okay, thank you. Constant. I see that. Okay, I can read that now. Good. So other questions from the group? Other questions from the group? Hi, Fool Jeff. It was nice to talk with you in the Discord last week. Last week, the YouTube meditation didn't manifest. It was unable to come out of the unmanifest into the manifest. Awareness was not able to dance as the YouTube video. It kept crashing. And so we switched over to the Discord channel. And on the Discord channel, we could have a live talk. And that was fun. So that was good to talk to you, Fool Jeff. Andy. In terms of staying in it off the cushion, the trickiest part for me is keeping it while zooming in my attention on things or while engaging in conceptual thought. Any tips? Yes. What I have learned here is that what you do is at least try to do it when it's easy. So when you're walking in nature or when you're just doing the dishes or something that doesn't take a lot of concentration, be awake awareness. Be vast, spacious, timeless stillness as much as you can. And then as you practice that more and more, you'll notice that it's easier and easier. It's like you learn how to get out of the way, and you'll find yourself dropping into this vast awareness over and over, kind of without doing anything, because of course it's already what you are. So it can just start to just be like, oh, there it is. But just drop into it. And so then you start dropping into it during times that are just a little bit harder. Like, let's say instead of just doing the dishes, you actually have to clean something that's a little bit complicated and you have to think about it a bit. But it turns out you can still hold the view of vast spacious awareness while you're doing that. And maybe you can actually hold, let's say you, I don't know, maybe you have a job where you have to repeat the same stuff over and over. Like, let's say you're on a phone bank and you just are saying the same stuff to people over and over. It's like a small decision tree and, oh, they're asking this, I go there. Oh, they're asking that, I go to this other place. You can stay in vast spacious awareness and do that job all day long because it doesn't really take much thought. And so it's very easy. Over a long period of time, you'll be able to do it even while you're thinking, even while you're doing a tense negotiation or something. And that is hard. But over time you can do it. And the Vipassana work we do helps to do that. So it's not just practicing while we're off the cushion. It's also when you're on the cushion, you bring up more and more difficult material and work with seeing the emptiness of it. And then when you go back out into the world, it's more obvious that it's empty. It's easier to hold the view. Okay, so again, it's paradoxical that even though you are already this awake awareness, you have to work pretty hard to hold the view all the time. You have to work pretty hard for years. I've worked pretty hard for like 40 years at this. So I'm getting pretty good at it, but still learning, still getting better at it. But I will say the more you do it, it really, really, really makes a big difference. Jamie asks, I enjoyed the visualization. Cool. Should the object remain at the same distance from perception, or is it okay to zoom in and out, studying different parts of it? The thing is called shamatha. And so what we're trying to do is stay pretty, so shama, the shama part of that, or the sham part of that means peaceful. So I don't want you to get really involved in examination, because that's more like vipassana or vipassana instead of shamatha. You want it to be relatively still, but sure, getting into the details, getting into all, the let's say it's subtly rotating or something, that can give you a lot of focus. So in other words, you want to find this Goldilocks zone between getting involved in it and not getting too agitated by trying to be involved in it, right? So there's a Goldilocks zone between relaxing and efforting, where we're just visualizing just enough to get really, really, really absorbed. And all that does is it's quiets down the mind so that when we open up into awareness, it's just a little easier and the thoughts don't just explode back, right? So that's the point. Good. So other questions from the group? One thing I want to remind everyone, there's a Discord channel. That's the Discord channel. You can hop on there, join the channel. There's lots of cool conversations going on. I'll pop in there a few times a week and answer questions, especially if you ask me specifically a question, I'll try to answer it. But please join the channel. We announce stuff on there and all that. It's a fun channel. There's a lot of good meditators on there. It's interesting. Currently, there's a lot of people talking about Vipassana and TMI and all that. Very interesting stuff. But, the things we're doing on YouTube are non-dual, more Vajrayana based. It's not that we're against one or the other, or all of those systems are welcome. But I'd like to see more discussion about non-duality, about awareness, those types of meditations. That would be really fun to have on there too. And so we'll be doing some more of that. I also want to switch gears now and say that these meditations are brought to you by the San Francisco Dharma Collective and myself. And so you can donate to myself through the San Francisco Dharma Collective, or to the San Francisco Dharma Collective through the San Francisco Dharma Collective, right? We split the money. But the San Francisco Dharma Collective does very much more than just put me on. They have many other teachers. They have E. Beckman. They have Chandra Easton. They have a whole host of people. Eric Davis does psychedelic sangha. I do the death sangha. There's fast, in fact, we'll get to that. There's a lot of stuff. And the San Francisco Dharma Collective and myself love nothing more than that you get these teachings for free. Here I am on YouTube, just giving it away for free. There is no money involved at all. However, if you want to donate and you feel like donating, I'll give you a link here that allows you to donate to the San Francisco Dharma Collective. It's a donation page that has all the ways you can donate. It shows you how to donate on Venmo and PayPal and Bitcoin and everything. So there's the link for you to donate, but only if you want to, only if that makes you feel good, only if that's your jam. Because honestly, our jam is to give this out for free. So, and yet, of course, we need support to do it. So everyone who's watching this for free, enjoy the crap out of it. Use it. Take it for free and just be like, yes, I got all this teaching for free. But for people who have, let's say, Ethereum is up. It's up a lot, I think. And you've just made zillions of tons of extra money by doing nothing except investing in cryptocurrency, then please feel free to donate some of that wealth to help us do this. Okay? So that's what that's about. So that is the Dana portion of the discussion here. Let's see. Konstantinos, of course, we have to meditate. The more we meditate, the better. And you want to meditate every day as much as you can in order to have easy access to these experiences. It takes a lot of effort because the sort of clouds and mishigas and belief in the personality and all that gets so thick. It's like the clouds are so thick, we can't even see the sky anymore. But, the clouds still depend on the sky. They're never actually blocking it. And so little by little, when we meditate, we see that there never was anything blocking. But it's just part of the odd paradox that you can't see what you can't see until you can see it, and then you can. It's just bizarre like that. So the minute you see that the clouds are never actually blocking the sky, the clouds have never blocked anything, all of a sudden, nothing's in the way. But until you can see that, it's almost like, I don't know how to put it, but it's almost like believing in the clouds makes you caught in the clouds. It's odd. Like I say, it's paradoxical. Okay, but we're gonna keep firing up that Discord channel. And something I want to announce, we don't know the date yet, but we're going to start doing an online course, like a Zoom course, for people who want to learn this beginning system of non-dual meditation that's getting you going from zero, or maybe you've done regular Vipassana or TMI or something, and teaching you all the stuff that I'm teaching on here in a little more systematic way with more support. So if you're interested in that, join the Discord channel. We'll talk about it on there. And sometime in the next, I don't know, it won't be that long. It'll be the next couple months. We'll get the first course going where we can all do that together on Zoom, and you can ask me questions and I'll have handouts and stuff like that. So that'll be for people who are completely unfamiliar with what we're doing here. We have other courses for people who are pretty good at non-dual meditation already. They've done enough of it that they feel like they want to deepen. Those other courses happen, and we'll be announcing those as well. The further announcement is, don't forget, Death Sangha is coming up. And let's see, Pranab, if you're there, can you WhatsApp me the Death Sangha Eventbrite link, and then I can put it in the chat. If I don't get that link, what I want you to do is go to the San Francisco Dharma Collective website and look up the event. Oh, there it is. Look up the event called Death Sangha, because you got to sign up in advance. Why do you got to sign up in advance? Because Death Sangha is intense. We are on purpose going into the harshest, darkest, ugliest, most triggering parts of death stuff. It's not like, oh, let's gently, think about mortality. No, we're like going in there. And so we make you sign up so that people aren't just showing up off the street. We make you sign up, so you have to read this stuff to understand what you're getting yourself into. Okay? And so thank you, Pranab. There's the link, the Eventbrite link for Death Sangha. If you want to dig into death stuff in a way that's really powerful for awakening, but is also very triggering on purpose, then come to Death Sangha. If you feel really brittle, or you feel already too triggered, or you feel overwhelmed, or you're easily, you don't want Death Sangha, I promise. So You get to decide for yourself whether you want to do that. It's not a practice everybody has to do. If you're feeling traumatized and like you need healing, do some healing metta type practice, some really beautiful yin yoga type practice, something like that. But if on the other hand, you kind of want to engage this death topic in a more like kind of way, then that's what Death Sangha is about. Okay, I love leading Death Sangha, so it's next weekend, not this coming weekend, not 2 days from now, but I think it's like, let me look, May 8th, is it? Looks like it's always on a Saturday. Yeah, Saturday, May 8th. 8 is a nice death number. So, and Saturday is, of course, Death Day. So we do it on a Saturday, this time the 8th. I look forward to seeing you all there. In the meantime, just as we end here, I just want you to remember, just drop in right now, remember that you are vast, spacious, timeless stillness. And that all the thoughts and all the personality and even all the external world just arises as that awareness playing, that awareness just pretending to be things. Tune into that now and don't forget it. And I'll see you next week. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for showing up. I love teaching these classes and I love talking to you here on the channel and also on the Discord and wherever we meet. So I hope to see you soon. Bye-bye.